Ever since cannons were first mounted on wooden carriages, armies have faced the same challenge. How do you move them? For centuries the answer was horses, reliable but slow and always limited by the animals pulling the gun. By the late 1930s, horses were given away to tracked artillery tractors like the Dragon. They could tow heavier guns almost anywhere, but they were expensive, complicated and slow. The answer was wheels, faster on roads, cheaper to build, easier to maintain, and capable of towing the British Army's artillery wherever it was needed. By 1944, the Canadian military patterned field artillery tractor had become one of the workhorses of the campaign in northwest Europe. Today we're looking inside Gecko Models 135th kit to see whether it captures this iconic artillery tractor. Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, it's really good to have you with us. Okay, so let's have a look at this kit that I found at the back of my stash. It is relatively old, but I still think it's up there with one of the better kits that Gecko has done. Let's have a look at the box art. Really nice depiction on the front of the box. It is worth bearing in mind, and this caught me out, you only get the tractor unit, you do not get the 25 pounder behind it, even though it's there on the box. So on the side you've got some CAD drawings and then details of the figure and the decals and the photo etch. So let's have a look inside the box. These really are very good value for money, these kits. They're relatively cheap, but they are very highly detailed. So let's have a look at the instructions. There's a really nice bit of blurb on the front, all about the history of the tractor and more details about the engine and what it can pull, that sort of thing. Then you get your usual sprue maps. So really useful if you ever lose a piece. Just go and have a look at the sprue map and it can show you what shape the sprue is to make it easier to find. You start off with the engine. The engine is visible beneath the between the front wheels, so I am going to have to be building the engine on this one, even though I don't like doing engines. And then that goes into the chassis right at the early stage and is mounted on its own sort of mini chassis, which is interesting. And then there's the winch that goes on, and obviously because this is a four-wheel drive vehicle and there's lots of rods connecting both sets of wheels to the engine. Next comes the exhaust and the suspension. And you can see really nicely, clearly laid out instructions, and if there are bits that are difficult to find or work out where they go, they highlight them in blue on the next section so you can see them in place. So I'm just having a quick whiz through these. Then on go the wheels onto the axles. And the wheels, you can direct the front wheels sort of left and right when you glue them on, which is a nice feature, and it's something Gecko do in all of their kits really. You can see that's more of the suspension and steering rods, and then here are the wheels, and as I say, you can align them whichever way you want to. Then we move on to the inside. Now it's one big compartment that houses 6 crew, so there are 6 seats obviously, but it's all very open plan and easily accessible for the crew. There's quite a bit of photo etch within the cabin, and also there's some hoses as well that need to go on that on the front sort of firewall, and then that goes straight onto the chassis, and And there's the winch pulley going on. You can see just how well detailed this kit is. There's lots and lots of parts, but also, you know, quality parts that actually mean stuff when you put them in, which is nice. There's the radiator going on, and the bonnet quickly goes on after that. And then back to the inside, you've got the brackets that hold the seats. And you see each seat is made of 4 parts. And then there's the rear of the compartment, which really is only there to support the back seats. You don't have access to the storage within the rear of the truck. You see the nice details like the mouldings on the inside of the windows being made out of photo-etch. The windows at the front, you can have them open or closed. And then there are some interior sort of bulk lights. And then the body goes on. Now it's worth bearing in mind that there is a driver figure in this kit, and you would need to put him in before you put the roof on. Otherwise you'll have no access to his seat. There are the main doors, which you can have open. And then all the fixtures and fittings on the roof. And the spare wheel. Then there are some nice accessories that go on the outside. There's some spare fuel cans. And then, so there's the figure and all his accessories. Now there are 3 paint schemes for this, and some of them are quite obscure. This one's Northern Ireland from 1941. This one is from Iceland in 1941. And then probably the one that most people, and certainly I will be doing, which is Normandy, 1944. Although I'm probably going to do mine in olive green rather than in brown. And then they always say thank you, which is nice, to the people that have helped them with the project. Let's have a look at some of the parts. I won't go through all of them because there really are quite a lot. But just to get a feel of how many there are, and also sort of the level of detail. So there's the engine, suspension, the bonnet. You can see it's all nicely laid out on the sprue, which is always good. There's the main base of the truck. You can see all the details, nice and crisp. There's no obvious flash anywhere that I can see. And then there are the doors. And again, they're nice crisp moulding, nice rivet details. The sprue gates don't look too big, which is common in a lot of kits nowadays. There's the actual body itself, and you can see what an amazing machine it looks. Nice and angular, which leads to sort of lots of wear and tear along the straight edges, which is always a really nice thing to use. The wheels are injection molded rather than vinyl, which is nice. It means they take paint a bit better. They've got some nice detail on there with the Dunlop moulding. And there's no flash, there's no ridge line down the centre of the tyres. There's the photo-etch. It's a relatively small piece of photo-etch, but lots of detailed parts. You get a small length of hose for that part that goes into the cab. And then you get the decals, which are normal, really good quality from Gecko, all in register, all nice bright colours. And there you go. So, as I say, just a quick whiz through the next kit I'm going to be building. Looks quite challenging. I've got a really nice idea how I want to present this. So you'll have to stay tuned for that one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. It doesn't cost you any money, but it really helps this channel. And all you have to do is click the button. So I would really appreciate it if you did it. Even if you never watch me again, just drop me a like and click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye.